This is kind of funny, but this is something I've been thinking about for some time. And that is that a lot of the people in this community, in this spiritual community, and this woke culture, is that a lot of the people there, they don't even live a spiritual life. They live actually less spiritual life than a lot of the unconscious people in the world. And if you really think about it, it's kind of funny, but I'm not judging anyone who does this, because I used to view spirituality a totally different way just maybe a year ago. So I get it. It's so easy to get trapped in these kind of things, and these illusions and boxes. But I've been thinking about like my grandpa, for example. Maybe you have seen it as well in your life, depending on how old you are, or maybe you're a lot older watching this video. But I remember my grandpa, he died about, I think it's 12 years ago now, but he lived a very simple life, and he lived a very much in the moment, very much in the present moment, now that I think about it, because both my grandpa and my grandma, they were very like, always when they were doing one thing, they always did exactly just that one thing. They focused only on that. And they were very calm in the way they did it. I remember my grandma when she was like in the kitchen and making, let's say, a meal for us when we were there, me and my sisters, or she was preparing something in the kitchen. She was so calm, and she was the most sweetest woman I ever met. She was an incredible woman. She always wanted the best for other people, and she was I remember when she was like making coffee, and she was like, she just took her time, and she didn't, I can assume she didn't think about anything else than just preparing, The same was with my grandpa. He was like, after he went into retirement, he became a very, not at that moment, but he started before, obviously, but he became a very good carpenter. So he made like furnitures, and he sell it, and he built a lot of furnitures. He did houses, and he built a lot of cool stuff for the homes and stuff like that. And he was very popular in that way, because he created value for people because they appreciated it, But he did it all the time. Every time I was there, he went in to eat the meal, and he ate just the meal. He went and wrote his crosswords. He was reading, or he was out in the garden, or he went into his garage and he made the furnitures. But he was always doing just that one thing. Or when he drove the car, I remember that it so clearly when he was just sitting there, and I could really feel like he was just in the moment doing that one particular thing. And that's what really spirituality is about. I mean, because we're missing the whole point of it. Like the only thing that really exists is the present moment, because the other thing we think exists is just an illusion. Like, so many people are caught up in either the past or the future. But if we can let go of these two illusions, then we're going to be much easier to focus on this one thing that we do. And I have noticed it so clearly in my life recently that the moment when you are like without thoughts, you're just doing the thing that you want to do, or not necessarily you want to do it, but it becomes so much more exciting when you do it. I mean, now just driving this car, it's a game changer in so many ways, and the suffering doesn't exist. You don't suffer when you do it. That's just out of the roof. That's out of the way, because the only suffering is when you start to put attention toward a thought. That's where you marinate on it, and that's where it grows, and your emotion starts to pour out. I'm making this video because I know that there's just so many people who are trapped in these ideas that they need to do certain things. And I also know that a lot of people are trapped in the idea that they need to know so many things. Or when I say no, it's no in quote unquote, because it's only belief, because they don't really know it, because it's not self-experienced. They only read it. They read all these ancient texts and stuff. They read all these books, and they listen to all these gurus out there who have listened to other people, and everyone is forming such a huge box of belief systems that it's insane. But at the end of the day, they're forming such a huge arrogance as well. The ego is insanely big on these people, because they have such a hard time to let go of them. So most of them are probably stuck at the level of pride, if you look at the vibrational scale. Definitely not even above even the root chakra or the solar plexus, because they are stuck down there, because I can clearly see it on social media, on Instagram and stuff, when a lot of the people I follow, that they are the first one to judge other people. They are the first one to say that, oh, you're not on my level, you don't know the things I know. I mean, that's just clearly a sign right away that you're definitely not let go of these illusions that you have created in your own life, because that's not how it works. And I mean, you're not even free, because if you have those kind of thoughts about other people, and you're even putting energy on it, I mean, let's face it, you're not on the elevated state at all. That's an illusion. So that's why I think so many unconscious people are actually living a more spiritual life than what the spiritual people do in this community, because they are, like I said, they're trapped in ideas and thoughts, and as long as they don't want to let go of it, they're probably going to be stuck there forever, because it's easy said than done. It takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of willpower, and also humility to actually accept and admit for yourself that you are maybe one of these arrogant people, and that you are stuck. Because I'm the first one to confess that I was exactly that for a few years ago, or maybe only 1 year ago, to be honest. Maybe even the start of this year, because I was so embedded in these thoughts and these ideas, with first of all semen retention, to be perfect all the time, perfectionism, and that I have to do certain things in order to be so-called spiritual person. But that's not even the case, you know. We're missing the whole point. And I mean, everyone wants to experience joy and be at peace with themselves. Who doesn't? I mean, that's why people are addicted to things. That's why people are addicted to alcohol and drugs, because those are the main things that you turn to, because you want to have this little moment where you're just at bliss, where you're just at peace with yourself, and you just feel, that's nice, you know. But all of a sudden, when it's over, then it's over, and then you get back, or you go back even down below baseline level than you were before. And that's why you need to do it again, so that you can experience this incredible feeling. But the good thing is that we can get there without these things, without these external things, because, like I said, they are external, they're not from you. So that's why it's so funny that there are so many boxes in this life and the world that we can fall into. It's insane. And the more I think about it, we only know so much, and it's so easy to get trapped at and get caught in them. But the best thing we can do is always to just let go of it. Let go of these ideas, because they don't do you any good. I mean, we're not here to know. That's why the old Greeks, they said, know thyself. That's one of the most famous quotes I think there is. Like, know thyself. They didn't say, like, know that the world is corrupt, that the world is run by, probably, because we don't really know it exactly, elite corporations or elite people. They didn't say you should know that they spraying the sky with chemtrails, or that the economy system is a corrupt system, that they have created slaves. And, you know, I can go on and on about all this stuff in the world, but they didn't say that. They said know yourself, because you create the reality from within you. So there are roughly about 8 billion people on this earth, but there are also 8 different realities, because everyone experiencing one particular reality from themselves. I mean, that's why you can wake up to this day that we have now, like beautiful sky, blue sky, sun, and one of them can have the perception that this is bad, because they are so caught up with negative thoughts that they can always find a problem for every solution, and everything is a problem. And then you can have one person who is positive, and he enjoys every day as it is, because what can you do? Even if it's rainy, I mean, it can be beautiful. So it's so incredible, funny how all these things works, and it's funny that we can. It's funny that the people you thought were on such a high level are actually not, because, like I said, they are trapped, and they are trapped big time. Because the older you get, the harder it's gonna be for you to let go of these things. I mean, imagine yourself like a 60-year-old dude who have been brainwashed and programmed from when he was a child, by society, by radio stations, by movies, by TV shows, and media. They have programmed him to a certain way of viewing the world and his life, and to live his life. So you can imagine the ego that's behind that, and also like the person who has been spiritual when he was young, and he's just searching for new information all the time. I mean, that ego is also like blowing up to this huge balloon. So I mean, I actually have a lot of names out there that are very good example. Like Santos Bonacci is a very good example. Probably a few people know who he is. He's kind of like this astrology guru, you can say. Like he's like the godfather in the astrotheology world. But I would say he's a very intelligent guy. He's very smart, but he's obsessed with that, and he's obsessed on his intellect and himself. He's trapped in the left brain, which is the left hemisphere, which is the masculine dominated brain, which is only about 10% of the brain. The other one is 90% is this feminine brain, which is the left hemisphere. Sorry, the right hemisphere. And when you get caught like he is in the left one, which is dominated by rationality, logic, reason, and all this stuff. I mean, and I think he's about 60 or maybe around that age. And you can clearly see he's suffering so much. There's a lot of video about on him out there that he's completely losing it. He can't control himself. His emotion is all over the place. He's yelling and screaming and even threatening their lives, because he is in such an immense suffering because he don't get it. He don't really understand what this is about. He's trapped in this idea that he needs to know all the things, how the stars is and how everything's connected. But as a matter of fact, you don't really know it. You can believe it, and by you believing it, it will obviously have an impact in your life because, well, a belief system is crazy strong. But without your experience, you don't really know it. So why even bother putting so much attention on that? Because like I said, we all want to be just free and happy and joyful. Who doesn't really? Free from suffering. So yeah, I made this video because I hope this reaches out to a lot of people who are trapped, who feel like they are at the place where I was before. I was trapped there. Well, I was trapped there as well. Built up a huge ego, spiritual arrogance. I thought I was better than other people because I did things that I thought was required, and the people who didn't do them, they were not as good as me. But that's something I let go of. I let go of that pride I had, and after that, I can really feel my energy has been going up crazy. I've been letting go of so many other illusions and blockages in my life, and that can happen as well for you. So I hope this video finds you so that you can realize that these are just, like I said, illusions, and they are causing you an issue. So yeah, most people in this community, they are not as woke as you think they are, because their ego, they're living through their mind telling them that they are woke and that they know all this stuff. But at the end of the day, they are just as trapped as the unconscious people as well. So that's it for today. Vi tackar så mycket. Bye.